With the new MK1 game hitting consoles, we need to talk about one of the game's most iconic characters, Liu Kang. Especially because in the new game, he has seemingly taken on the powers of Raiden, essentially making him a god who will be rebooting the MK timeline. In fact, we had a chance to play the new game and fight as the new high-powered Liu Kang, so I'll give you guys my full take and review of the game on the back half of this video. But for Liu Kang, he is easily the most loved protagonist in the MK franchise. He first appeared in the original Mortal Kombat game in 1992 and was created by Ed Boon and John Tobias. Now you know how we do here, we always have to start with the character's real-world history before talking about his or her fictional origin story. In Liu Kang's case, he was originally supposed to be a Japanese character named Minamoto Yoshitsune. But according to Mortal Kombat co-creator John Tobias, during production of the first game, the Midway staff, quote, just couldn't deal with the name. So the character was renamed to Liu Kang as a nod to actor Gordon Liu, who starred in the 36 Chambers of Shaolin film from 1978. But that wasn't the only thing that was changed. He was then changed from Japanese to Chinese and was originally supposed to be just a traditional monk having a bald head and wearing robes. But the actor who played Liu Kang in the first two Mortal Kombat games, Ho Sun Pak, was like, yeah, I'm not shaving my head though. This resulted in the character being loosely modeled after Bruce Lee, now being depicted as a renegade monk who grew his hair back. Tobias would also draw inspiration from Bruce Lee's 1953 Enter the Dragon film for Kang's backstory. Over time, Liu Kang would arguably become the most important character in the Mortal Kombat universe, which was pretty much established by the third game, because in 1995, in an interview with MK co-creator Ed Boon, he said in regards to putting Liu Kang in the third game, it'd be like doing a part 3 of Star Wars and not having Luke Skywalker in there. You don't do that. In any case, Liu Kang is one of the few characters to appear in every main MK game as a playable character. He's Earthrealm's greatest warrior and the main hero of the franchise. Dude literally became the champion in the first Mortal Kombat tournament.
I've played random Mortal Kombat games throughout my whole life, just spamming the buttons, hope for the best. I didn't properly realize how much lore there is in the game until I grew up into adulthood. But I never really loved the game, so I never really delved into it. So my journey, back into remembering Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat actually, I think, was the movie. Then the game MK1, that reboot, that Mortal Kombat 10, 11, those games all was like, ooh, I was on the periphery of the Mortal Kombat world. But so I'm so confused. If Liu Kang is such an important character, the most high acknowledged protagonist in the MK world, why wasn't he just the protagonist of the movie? Why did they create a totally new character that was never in any game? That's confusing. That's weird. That just doesn't make sense.
He entered. But let's go back. Earthrealm lost control of the Mortal Kombat tournament when Goro defeated the great Kung Lao. At this point, Kung Lao's brother Liu Kang was summoned by the White Lotus to go to Shang Tsung's island. If you're wondering what the White Lotus or White Lotus Society is, they're an organization founded by Raiden and the Shaolin Order of Light. Anyway, he's chosen by them to...
No, copyright. No, I can't say copyright. They probably existed before. But the only White Lotus group I know is the one led by Uncle Iroh, the GOAT. Fight
in the tournaments and return it back to the hands of the Shaolin. The crazy part is Kang only has one chance, because at this time of entering the tournaments, Shang Tsung had already won 9 consecutive tournaments with his champion Goro. And if they could take home a 10th win, this would allow Shao Kahn to invade Earthrealm. Now, as we know, Liu Kang is not alone in being Earthrealm's protector. He's aided by his friends Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade. But in the end, Liu Kang is the one who defeats Shang Tsung, forcing Goro and Shang Tsung back to Outworld. Now, I've never personally been in a physical combat situation like that, but I'd imagine it'd make you pretty freaking hungry. In fact, it's making me hungry just thinking about it. Or maybe it's because I was just eyeballing my lunch, a cheesy bacon ranch chicken meal from Factor just before coming in the studio. Yeah, it's as good as it sounds. If you're not familiar with today's sponsor, Factor, they offer... Okay, we've covered Liu Kang's origin, but there's been so many dang Mortal Kombat games that it would take forever to explain to you everything Liu has been through throughout the Mortal Kombat universe. So for the rest of his story, we're just gonna narrow it down to what you need to know leading up to Mortal Kombat 1. The next important or relevant part for the character starts in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. In this game, it's revealed that Quan Chi is responsible for the death of Scorpion's clan and family. This obviously pisses off Scorpion greatly, so fueled with rage, he goes after Quan Chi, kinda as we see in the Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge movie. Anyway, Quan Chi is able to escape Netherrealm and Scorpion, at which point he makes a deadly alliance with Shang Tsung. He basically tells Shang Tsung that he can give him an endless supply of souls in return for transporting the souls of defeated warriors into his army. The problem is both Liu Kang and Shao Kahn are not gonna want this to happen. So of course they must be taken off the board, and because of this deadly alliance, Shang Tsung is finally able to defeat and kill Liu Kang, who by the way is not a playable character in this game. This then leads us to Mortal Kombat Deception, where Liu Kang returns but as an evil zombie. And then that leads to Mortal Kombat Armageddon, where in order to prevent Armageddon at the end of the game, Raiden sends a message to his past self warning him of this impending doom, which kind of reboots the franchise going into the 2011 Mortal Kombat game where Liu Kang is back yet again, because reboot, hence no more zombie. In this game, Liu Kang wants to go after Shao Kahn, but Raiden insists that he shouldn't. This leads to a confrontation between the two of them, with Liu Kang attacking Raiden with a fireball. But Raiden, being the god of thunder and lightning, electrocutes him, accidentally killing Liu Kang. As Liu Kang dies, he blames Raiden for all the heroes' deaths, with Raiden regretting what he just did, asking Kang for his forgiveness. From here we go on to Mortal Kombat X, where we see Liu Kang is now a revenant working with Quan Chi. As such, he's now incredibly bitter for his own death and the loss of innocent lives, which is crazy because, as we all know, before this, Liu Kang was a very peaceful-centered soul, but not so much in Mortal Kombat X. As the game goes on, Quan Chi is killed by Scorpion, at which point Liu Kang pledges his allegiance to Shinnok, who was summoned by Scorpion. For those of you who don't know, Shinnok is a fallen elder god of death. Once Shinnok is defeated by Casey Cage and Raiden, Liu Kang and Katana become the rulers of Netherrealm. This would then bring us to Mortal Kombat 11, where Katana and Liu Kang have both become even more corrupt due to the prolonged exposure and influence of Shinnok. Long story short, by the end of MK11, Raiden and Revenant Liu Kang fight. Raiden wins, much like he did their first battle, but instead of killing Liu Kang this time, he effectively merges with him, making Liu Kang a god with fire and lightning. With this power, he defeats Kronika, a Titaness and Keeper of Time. So now with the power of Raiden and being able to manipulate time, Liu Kang seeks out to create a brand new peaceful timeline, erasing all the losses people have suffered over the years, and so this is where Mortal Kombat 1 picks up, with Liu Kang doing exactly that. There's obviously a lot more to it, but that's the super simplified version of plot points that you need to know going into the new game. Now, this wouldn't be a History of episode if we didn't at least touch on powers and abilities, so let's get into it. Liu Kang's most iconic move is by far his bicycle kick, which, as we all know, is when Liu Kang flies across the damn screen, kicking his opponent several times like he's riding an invisible bicycle midair. Another one of his iconic moves is his Dragon Fire throw, a fiery flame in the shape of a dragon that he throws across the screen out of his hands. This dragon actually looks very reminiscent to the MK logo. He can also shoot normal fireballs out of his hands, and he's got Shaolin Flame, where he claps his fists together, engulfing them in flames. Or, you know, let's go all the way to his most current state, where he's reached Thunder God Ascension. This is after he merges with Raiden, where all of his special moves are now modified, causing either lightning or fire effects. Basically, everything he does is now amplified because he's reached godhood. Then, of course, he's got his fatalities like Deadly Uppercut, Arcade Drop, Fiery Head Club, Sore Throat, which is pretty, I mean, they're all brutal, but especially that one, Belly of the Beast, and Double Dragon. There's no shortage of moves and abilities that Liu Kang can do, as he's the main hero of the series.